Character exploration. Character: the Monkey King. Chapter 1. In this chapter the reader can see that the Monkey King starts off in a good mood, and is portrayed as a humble character. Reading through the first chapter, the reader can tell that the author portrayed the Monkey King as a happy character. He is happy as a monkey and he does not see that there is anything wrong with who he is. Once he gets to the party, he is discriminated against and judged for being a monkey. Immediately after that he gets angry and he feels indignant and disrespected. The author puts certain expressions on the monkey's face to make his transition more clear. The Monkey King goes from being smart, humble and hard-working, to being stuck-up, stubborn and arrogant. As you can see in page 15, panel 5, the Monkey King was very embarrassed and hurt by what the guard had said to him. He disliked how he was treated at the door to heaven. He was not let inside the castle because he was not wearing shoes and because he was a monkey. When the Monkey King changes his appearance, it does not really change who he is still a monkey. Although there is a massive change in his emotions and actions. In the beginning of the book, we can see that the Monkey King lived with no worries and he had only good intentions. However, after he was dealt with like a minority, the Monkey King felt defeated and he felt the need to have revenge. He decided that fighting back against the people of heaven would be the best way to get that revenge. We can see in page 9, panel 5, that the Monkey King is very proud of who he is and he appears to be very admired by his people, who as monkeys, don't see anything wrong with being a monkey. When he fights the people in heaven, you are able to see a huge change in his actions, but not his physical appearance. This shows us that the change in his has already started to take over. He is angry and outraged, unlike in the Flower Fruit Mountain. His appearance in this scene tells us that he was proud of who he was up until he got in the brawl with the people of heaven. Chapter 2. In this chapter, you can see the most change. In the beginning of the chapter, the Monkey King is shown training and meditating every day and night. He is clearly working hard to prove everyone wrong about who he is. He is not just a monkey. He is the great sage equal of heaven. Later on in this chapter, the Monkey King goes to heaven to be executed. Ao Kuang's plan to execute the Monkey King fails miserably due to the fact that he had been studying and training and was now invulnerable to everything and anything. The Monkey King had obtained invulnerability to fire, invulnerability to drowning water, invulnerability to cold and lastly, invulnerability to wounds. Like I mentioned before, the Monkey King wanted to have revenge to prove everyone wrong. In this chapter the artist portrays the amount of power the Monkey King has by making him look bigger than everyone else. In some panels he is bigger in size, in number, and in form. He changes his physical appearance quite a bit. First he changes by becoming larger and stomping on the Dragon King. Then he changes by becoming a giant dragon snake and circling around Lao Tzu. Next, he changes his physical appearance by cloning himself and outnumbering Yama. Lastly, he shows a serious facial expression and hits the Jade Emperor in the face with his magical cudgel. Once he has an encounter with the creator of all, he does not change or go back to being the monkey he was in the beginning of the story. In fact, once he has this encounter, he becomes even more arrogant and he shows the readers a part of himself we had not yet witnesses. The changes in this character's appearance tells us that he thinks he is better off not being a monkey, and he thinks he can just rid himself of his monkey identity. Chapter 3. After the last chapter, he changes into a more human-looking version of himself. In this chapter, the Monkey King is stuck under a big pile of rocks and the only way to get out is for him to return to his original form. The character feels like he is still the greatest being in the universe, therefore he still acts like it. The author portrays these feelings by making him call the old man things like fool. This shows the audience that the Monkey King still feels superior when he really is meant to be this man's disciple. The Monkey King returns to his original form and identity. However, This does not happen until the old man is really in need of his help. First, the demons appear. They pierce the man with a spade. The man bleeds terribly, but the Monkey King still does nothing. The demons then place him over a fire and start to roast him. It is then that the Monkey King steps in. He returns to his original form, stretches out a little and then beats the two monsters with their own weapon. Once he gets all the monsters out of the way, he approaches the old man again and offers to help him up to his feet. The old man and his new disciple walk away. The Monkey King is told that he'll not be needing his white shoes anymore, and with no resistance or questioning, he takes them off immediately. The Monkey King shows plenty of emotional change in these scenes. He shows stubbornness by refusing to change to his original form. He shows understanding and empathy by returning to his original form. He shows loyalty and bravery by defending the old man. He shows purity and humbleness by helping the man up. And lastly, he shows devotedness and purity once again by abandoning his shoes without looking back. We can see that the Monkey King grew into someone he wasn't and realized it is wrong. He should always accept and appreciate who he is on the inside and on the outside. This isn't only for his own good, but for everyone else's too. When the Monkey King refused to accept his true identity, the old man was stabbed. When Jin refused to accept his true identity, the Monkey King's son was extremely hurt by Jin's actions and words. Accept who you are. Accept who others are. Accept that you are not all the same and you cannot wish it to be.